This is Rugby Merlin and welcome back to the channel. So this is my review of Wales versus Australia in the Autumn Nations series. Yeah, you can see the flag there is flying at half-mast. I did get leaked the score before I watched the match. I couldn't watch it live. But yeah, I thought I'd watch the full game and do a review. So here we go. Let's see how it goes. So Australia regained the kickoff and they did well off the kickoffs all match. They put it through the phases, but Wales managed to hold their own. There are some big collisions though, and Wales come off second best. They get a bit of possession, take the ball back, but I think Beard goes off injured, so Chinza is on early on in the first half, so a very physical game early. Australia are looking sharp early on and putting the ball to good use. Wright, who cut the Welsh defence apart many times this match, he does so for the first time, and feeds it to Kerevi, but Kerevi gets held up over the line, so we're just about surviving this early onslaught, but Australia looking dangerous. Australia keep pounding away though, and eventually goes out wide, and it falls to Wright, and Wales have no answer out wide, and easy finish for him really, and Australia get their first try of the match, and it's 5-0. Good response from Wales though early on in the second half. They do attack Australia. They're not making great amount of yards, but you know, the effort is definitely there. But then the ball goes loose in a tackle and is picked up by Australia. The ball's fed to Frost, the second row, who I think is a very underrated player. I've been very impressed with his work this season, and he's a very honest player, and I'm glad he gets the try. He bounds over and it's kicked, nice kick from Lolesio, and it's 12-0 to Australia now with minutes on the clock, so a great start for Australia. And Wales under pressure start to concede penalties, and Australia show their intent early, and instead of kicking the goals they go for the corner, and they did it a couple of times, and then Uncle Festa, the hooker, who played very well, and he gets his first try of the match from a rolling maul. So they used the rolling maul really well throughout this match, and that was the first example of it. And now it's 19-0. And this, I don't know, I'm at like 10 minutes on the clock. It was absolutely phenomenal start from Australia, and they'll be ecstatic about it. But again, another pretty good response from Wales. They're trying their best, I'll give them that. And they put some decent phases together. Wainwright with a great run to get great, much needed yards for Wales, you know, because they had carries, they didn't quite have the yards from the carries, but Wainwright finishes off the move too, just about holds onto the ball and gets over the line, and Wales respond now with their own try, so it's 19-7, so there is a way back into the match for Wales. Australia kind of go into their shell a little bit, and Wales keep the ball as much as they can. They did make a lot of tackles in the first 10-15 minutes, but kind of evens out a little bit after that, and they get a couple of penalties. So now going into the halftime whistle, it's 13-19. So at this point, Wales are well and truly in it. Now, if you didn't realize already with the flag and what have you, I did get the score sent to me by my Australian friends right after the match. So I did know the score, the final score. So at halftime, I'm thinking, well, what happened in the second half? So I'm kind of excited to see how Wales fell apart, you know. But so far in the second half, it's been just a classic test match between these two old rivals. And Australia got off to a flying start, but then Wales, as they're prone to do, they kind of claw their way back into the match. So very interesting to see how the second half is going to go. So a halftime review, Australia obviously have a lot of pace out wide, and it's going to be interesting to see if their experience in players like Valentini and Kerevi can be put to good use in the second half. For Wales, Winnett, as always, is, you know, fantastic. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's an absolute top quality player. Tom Rogers, who I don't really know, he's been great, particularly under the high ball. The Welsh scrum is going really well. Wainwright, as always, making the hard yards, and Griffin in the front row is doing all right. So it's there are some good performances from the Welsh players. So let's see how it goes now in the second half. So Wales have been challenging the Australians physically finally towards the end of the first half, and it carries on to the second half. Jack Morgan takes it up and Karevi hits him and clashes heads. Now it goes for a yellow, but ultimately that would be a red, and kind of the commentators are umming and ahhing, but most of them agree that it will be a red. So it seems like Wales are going to be playing 14 players for the rest of the second half. So all the cards now are in Wales's hands. So again, the mystery of the final score continues to baffle me. But let's get on with it. Wales get a lot of possession, I think, mainly down to the 14 men. They don't make great use of it, but they do okay. They put the phases together. The shape doesn't look half bad, actually. They do spin the ball wide quite a lot. And but the Australian backline's defending really well. But then the first real, telltale of how the second half is going to go happens, and that's as soon as Australia get a opportunity, they put it in the corner, again use the rolling ball, and Festa gets his second try of the match. Now that's, I think, probably the first entry Australia have had in the second half, and they score straight away. So they extend their lead now, and it's 13-26. Australia get back their mojo at this point, and with 14 men, the big boys put their hand up. Valentini and Skelton, particularly, some fantastic carries, and I'm sure their stats were off the charts. And they keep it tight then, up the middle, exactly how you should do when you're down a man. And they grind the Welsh down, and the Welsh are starting to tire a little bit, and they get another try. Now it's 13-33. So with a man down, Australia have done pretty well. There's a glimmer of hope for the Welsh, and the ball bounces out to Botham, who's on the wing. He picks up the ball one-handed and gets over for a try, but again, it's brought back. A lot of tries brought back this weekend, but this time for a forward pass. Not sure about it. Of course, I'm biased, so maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but ultimately Wales lose out the game, and they still down by 20 points. So it's going to be a tough ask now. So the game finishes the last 20 really badly for Wales, and the score balloons out. I think if it finished 33-13, there wouldn't be many arguments really. Australia were definitely the best side. They had a lot more experience, and they had some big stars in there. Wales not really, but it was the key moments that let Wales down. The lineouts that they lost when they were in attacking position, forward pass, interceptions, all that kind of stuff. And I think finally in the last 15 particularly, Wales' head just dropped and they started to fall off tackles, and then Australia really scoring at will in that last 15 minutes, and it ended up being a huge score. The biggest win for Australia in Cardiff, the capital of Wales, in their history. So a very sad day for Welsh rugby, but as far as the players' effort goes, I wouldn't really fault them. They were up against bigger men, and at times in the pack it did look like men against boys, but they equipped themselves reasonably well when they were able. But you have to remember as well, Australia were down to 14, but they never looked like they were. So, you add that extra man in for Australia, would it have been an even bigger score? So Wales in kind of turmoil at the moment. I actually picked Wales to win this match. I was wrong. They did show glimmers, but they were way off the pace really. Wright, I think, got the last try of the match and the man of the match, rightly deserved. He's had a great season too. But Wales just don't have those kind of players. They have decent players, like I mentioned, Winnett and things like that. But they don't have those big stars, who can open up a game and really turn it in your favour. So all the questions now around, should Gatland go? I have my own opinions of it, and maybe it warrants its own video. Sorry for the pun, but disappointing day for Welsh fans, and you could see the stadium was half empty at the final whistle, and I can't really blame my compatriots back home. Australia on for the slam, or whatever they call it. They got 2 more matches against Scotland and Ireland, so they're playing all the home nations. So I guess they call it a Grand Slam. So good luck to them, and they're definitely on the up and up, and their experienced players are playing well, which I really like. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next one. Bye bye.